I replaced my $2,000 PC with a $600 Steam Deck. Why? Because I wanted to know, could the Steam Deck OLED actually replace my desktop? For the last month, I've tried different handhelds from the Ally X, Legion Go S, and none of them could impress me like the way the Steam Deck did. My main issue was the price and Windows. Windows has made everything difficult for me. The process of constantly updating drivers and troubleshooting felt like I was spending more time fixing Windows problems rather than gaming. I wanted a streamlined experience with no quirks, something that just worked out of the box, and that's where the Steam Deck OLED came into place. This handheld has been my daily drive, and surprisingly, it didn't suck. But it's not perfect either. So why did I go with the Steam Deck? Well, it's fairly priced than my PC. It has good battery, good performance, nice screen, expandable storage, and it's flexible to carry around in your backpack while on the go. The Steam Deck is an easy pick and play handheld you can buy with a huge library of games that will run with the help of SteamOS, which is stable and performs well considering the price, unlike the PC, which is expensive and usually you have to use Windows, which has a lot of problems like performance drops, constant software updates, and poor battery management. Although you can play 90% of all games on PC, SteamOS does a great job of streamlining their gaming experience with the deck's verified games so that you know which games are going to run very well, and below that there is playable games which require a bit of tinkering around, which by the way the Steam community is there to help, and unsupported games. The Steam Deck did change the way most people play their games today. Their compatibility to play games on Linux has played a big role where companies like Microsoft are making handhelds now, with their latest Xbox Ally X handheld, and Sony also rumored to be making one, and thanks to the Steam Deck that popularized this. If you're on the market for a handheld, the Steam Deck is the first option you get recommended to. There are different options like the Ally X, Legion Go S with SteamOS, but none of them come close to the Steam Deck OLED, and that's why I replaced my PC with this device. When it comes to the design, the Steam Deck OLED is the first hardware revision we've seen to the Steam Deck when it was released back in 2023. It features a 7.4-inch HDR OLED display with higher peak brightness of up to 1000 nits versus 400 nits on LCD, delivering better colors, deeper blacks, and better motion clarity for more immersive gaming experience. Games like Resident Evil and Cyberpunk shine on the screen. As someone who's used to playing on high refresh OLED gaming monitors, I'm glad the Steam Deck offers something similar. It also supports 90Hz refresh rate compared to 60Hz on the LCD model. In 2025, 90Hz is the bare minimum, especially when you compare it to other models with 120Hz like the Legion Go. But with what the Steam Deck is offering, I can't complain much. The device is designed for comfort and portability, maintaining the console-like ergonomics that define the Steam Deck line. The OLED version is about 30 grams lighter, partly due to the lighter OLED panel and improved internal design, which is easy to carry and comfortable when playing games. The Steam Deck OLED model has updated thermals, with a bigger fan allowing it to run cooler and quieter than the LCD version. OLED screens typically generate less heat, contributing to better thermal management. This OLED model includes Wi-Fi 6E for faster and more stable wireless connections, an upgrade from Wi-Fi 5 on the LCD model. It also has a larger battery of 50 watts versus 40 watts on the LCD, improving battery life by 30 to 50%. The Steam Deck controllers are solid for a handheld, and probably my favorite from all other handhelds. I've used the ones from the Ally X, the Nintendo Switch, and as someone who's used to playing games using mouse and keyboard, the Steam Deck controllers are something else. When it comes to performance, the Steam Deck is great given its form factor. However, you're not getting the same performance as a fully equipped PC. There are a few demanding games that require tweaking and a few frame drops, which is expected, but for what the Steam Deck is, it's a great small company device to play games on the go. The Steam Deck is the most reliable gaming handheld on the market. Developers really do optimize their games to run smoothly on this device. There were no problems or glitches on this device while playing. It was the most consistent, stable handheld out of the handhelds I've tested on this channel. Most games I tested run well. Cyberpunk 2077 runs natively at 30 to 45 FPS with reduced settings, which is okay for me. However, when streamed via Steam Remote Play from my PC, it can run at max settings with 90 FPS and DLSS enabled, providing a visual stunning and fluid experience. No Man's Sky achieves around 55 to 60 FPS at minimum graphic settings, offering a playable and enjoyable experience despite the game's open world demands. The Steam Deck OLED excels in handling indie games and many AAA titles at medium to low settings, with a focus on smooth gameplay over ultra-high fidelity. Let's talk about battery life because that's one of the limitations of the Steam Deck. It offers a significantly improved battery life compared to the original LCD model thanks to the larger 50-watt-hour battery, a more power-efficient OLED screen, and improved thermal design. Valve claims the OLED model can deliver between 3 to 12 hours of gameplay depending on the game and usage conditions. If you play a lot of games, you may need a power bank, but if you are like me, who casually plays around 2 hours, the Steam Deck OLED is perfect. I have no complaints. Let's talk about SteamOS. My god, do I love this environment. The software is smooth, intuitive, and easy to use. There is no bloatware like on Windows, no constant updates, and being able to access your Steam library is incredibly easy. The Steam library is massive, and you can access third-party stores like Epic and GOG. The only downside I can say, few games are optimized for the Steam Deck, but most of the games are available for play. SteamOS makes it easy for you to know which games are verified for play, which games require tinkering, and which games are non-Steam compatible. If you've just bought the Steam Deck and want to troubleshoot or check game compatibility, Valve has got a large community to help you out. There's a ton of pages, especially on Reddit, where people share their ideas about everything about the Steam Deck, so you won't feel lost. I was able to use tons of mods, tweaks, and performance boosts to improve my Steam Deck experience. Unlike other handhelds or PCs, you kinda have to rely on companies themselves to push out updates and a few tricks which may make it difficult for you if you are new to this whole space. But when Valve drops updates for the Steam Deck, it's only for the Steam Deck, just like how Apple is able to support their older devices because they are made by the same company. When it comes to the pricing, this version cost me $600, which is mind-blowing. For what you pay and what you get, you receive more than what you would get on any PC, which costs me 3 times more than the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has its own limitations too, despite me praising it. The battery life could be better. Maybe if Valve upgrades it to an 80-watt-hour battery, a 120Hz screen would be fantastic because when you look at the market, it seems every new handheld has a high refresh screen. I would be lying if I said I didn't miss my PC, especially when it comes to multitasking. I can't have my games open in one window, browsing the web, chatting on Discord with no issues. While the Steam Deck can handle some lightweight multitasking, it's held back by the SteamOS. However, I don't think this is a bad thing. The Steam Deck is a gaming handheld and that's what it's designed for. So after a month of using the Steam Deck OLED, did it fully replace my $2,000 PC? Well, yes, I did switch to the Steam Deck. I have enjoyed it every single time I play and my PC has become my editing setup. If portability and price is key, the Steam Deck is an awesome device. My PC can be awesome, especially for those high-demanding games, and also Windows plays almost most games. If you're like me, who values convenience and don't mind tweaking to play certain games, the Steam Deck OLED can 100% replace your PC for everyday gaming. It honestly changed the way I think about gaming, given its small form factor, and for the price, it offers a lot more than a PC that costs over $2,000. So what do you guys think? Would you completely replace your gaming PC for the Steam Deck? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to hear your thoughts. And if you guys love this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to grow this community. Let's meet in the next video coming soon.